If you were living in an emotional and a mental prison, would you want to know? 85% of our belief systems were created before the age of 14. The way we think about God, what we think about money, what we think about relationships, men, women, most of our belief systems were created at that time. In this episode, I'm going to dive in to the thought process that could be stunting relationships in your life and in your business. My name is Skylar Lewis, and this is the Christian Business Mentor Podcast. Let's dive in. When I was in elementary school, my mom was an in-home health caretaker. And what she did was she used to take us and we would go live with other people. So we'd literally move our entire families. We'd move in with another human being that we did not know, a stranger. And then we'd go to a new school. I went to 13 different elementary schools growing up, elementary and middle schools. And what I noticed, what would happen is I'd have to go make friends. At each new school, I would have to get the courage and go meet new people. And so there was this one school in Yorba Linda, Southern California. I remember walking in, it was my first day of school. All the kids were at the playground and there was a group of kids circled up. And I walked up to this group of kids and I was nervous, but I stepped in because I knew I had to do it. And as I stood there in the circle, nobody talked to me. I stood there feeling alone and afraid and concerned that maybe I wasn't going to be able to make friends at this school. What I didn't realize was that this ended up playing out in my marriage. As I spent time with my wife, I realized that she would regularly say, Skylar, I don't feel connected to you. And I felt business relationships that were feeling the same way. I didn't feel an emotional connection. They couldn't feel me. And as I dug in and started to uncover belief systems, I realized that as a kid, through the challenges, through those insecurities, through being afraid to be vulnerable, I had created the belief that vulnerability equals pain. That if I opened up my heart and I bared my soul, I would get hurt. And this was my core belief system that negatively affected my marriage and my relationships. I hope you're enjoying this video. I'm the founder of Rise Up Kings, the largest faith-based personal development organization in the country. And it's our mission to reach as many people as possible to help them live lives of excellence, all to glorify God. We do this through our content that you're watching now. We do this through our seminars. So if you're enjoying this, please subscribe and share. Let's get back to the video. In the book of Genesis, we see that Jacob took his family of 70 during a famine that was in Canaan. He took them to Egypt, where there was a place of security, a place of safety. There was food there. So he took his family of 70 there, and over the next 430 years, they grew to a population of 3 million people, to the point where the Pharaoh of that time wanted to enslave them. So the tide shifted in Egypt, where the Hebrews were then enslaved. And so if we look at this in our own lives, what is a stronghold? A stronghold is actually a place of protection. And it's when that place of protection many times can be the thing that ends up imprisoning us, right? So those belief systems, those ways of operating, the ways of protecting yourself may have worked as a child, may have worked as a teenager or even a young adult. However, in relationships and in your life, they may no longer be working for you. They may actually be imprisoning you emotionally, mentally, creating fear, creating anxiety inside of your life, and damaging the relationships with the people that you care the most about. So a good question, right, that you can bring to the Holy Spirit, bring to the Lord is, Lord, what belief systems have been running me that maybe I am unaware of? Lord, where am I stuck mentally? Lord, where have I created a belief system that no longer serves me and my family? And allow the Holy Spirit to bring those to your mind and allow healing to happen. Because the way that you show up as a leader, as a friend, is in direct proportionate to the success that you will create inside of your relationships. And that's in business, that is in your personal life. The man or the woman that you are was created by the belief systems that were installed, that were implemented inside of you as a child. And part of the process of leveling up, of creating awareness, of maturing, is uncovering those belief systems and then figuring out, do they serve me or do they not? and then going back or in the present and figuring out what belief system would be more effective for my life moving forward. Do I want to protect myself, or do I want to start to open myself up? Will vulnerability help me, or will vulnerability hurt me? It could do both. However, I would challenge you, your best friendships and your best relationships will be the ones where you are vulnerable and you are open, because that is the only way people can truly connect with who you are. So following Christ is all about freedom. It's about creating freedom inside of other people. It's about being in relationship. But if you want to follow Christ, that pathway leads to freedom. Freedom from, many times, the belief systems that keep us trapped. Let's continue to show up with power, with freedom, with liberty, so that we can glorify God by the way that we live our lives and run our businesses.